Did you see how he looked at the judge like, do I have to answer that? What scares me the most is how professional of a liar this man is.
I want to take you back for a second. Entries.
What was that coughing in the courtroom? Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Buckle Up, It's the Law. We're going to continue with the cross-examination of Bryan Higgins in the Karen Reed murder trial by none other than Alan Jackson. Without further ado, let's go.
Do you remember Kevin Albert providing you any information about the ongoing investigation into John O'Keefe's death?
No.
Did you ask him about additional information concerning John O'Keefe's death?
No.
Were you providing details back to Bryan Albert that you were receiving while at Canton PD?
Absolutely not, no.
Do you recall that 2 minutes after you cleared the call with Kevin Albert, you then called Bryan Albert?
It's possible.
So I think the question was, do you remember? Do you remember that?
Your Honor, there was a lot of phone calls made that day. It was an upsetting day. I spoke to multiple people at multiple times. I don't have a recollection. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Such an evasive answer. He knows exactly who he was talking to. He just doesn't want to get caught in the act. Because he knows it's going to be used against him. Because his hands are dirty.
May I approach briefly?
Yes.
Just to close this loop, that appears to be your phone record, correct?
Yes.
And it appears that you made a call at 3:10 for 12 minutes with Kevin Albert, correct?
Yes.
3:10 plus 12 was 3:22, correct?
Yes.
You had cleared the call about 3:22, is that right?
Yes.
And then it shows a 3:24 phone call to Bryan Albert then calls you at 3:24, correct?
Yes.
And you two speak for 6 minutes, is that right?
6 minutes, 5 seconds, yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
That's a total of
Does that refresh your recollection that you made those calls?
18 minutes.
Based on the record, yes.
And this day was so stressful to you, which, okay, granted, sometimes stress, you can forget things, you know, but usually when in immense amounts of stress, emotions tie into your memory, right? So events that happen in high states of emotion, you are more likely to remember them than you are to forget them. And he's saying in this heightened state of confusion and emotionality, heightened emotionality, he was just, I have no idea. We spoke for 18 minutes and I don't remember a single second of that conversation? Really? Oh, really? Okay, bud, let's keep going, shall we?
Was that just a coincidence that you were talking to Bryan Albert and Kevin Albert within minutes of one another?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on that day. People were upset, and I don't remember the phone calls.
2 Alberts, 18-minute span. He has no idea.
I don't deny making the phone calls. I just don't remember them.
Do you remember providing information that you were learning from Kevin Albert to Bryan Albert?
Absolutely not.
What scares me the most, folks, is how professional of a liar this man is. How you can just lie straight through your teeth and say, absolutely not, like you're just taking a sip of water. Those people terrify me, folks. That's a sociopath. That is a straight-up sociopath.
If you look just below those phone calls to Kevin Albert and Bryan Albert, there's 2 additional phone calls that you had with Chief Berkowitz and then Bryan Albert again, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Higgins, it looks an awful lot like you're gleaning information from Canton PD. Were you doing that?
Objection.
So I sustain the objection in that form. You can ask one part of that question.
Sure. Were you getting any information from Canton
Sorry, I'm
PD?
allergic to bullshit.
No, I wasn't.
Did you provide any information to Bryan Albert
No, I did not.
based on any conversations or conduct at Canton PD?
No.
May I approach?
Yes.
But you were, in fact, on the phone with all of those interested parties throughout the day, you'll agree.
I was.
Answer that.
Did you see how he looked at the judge like, do I have to answer that? Oh, Okay.
There's
Yes, Your
no
Honor.
objection, you can answer it.
Yes, they're friends, and I was on the phone with them, yes.
And sir, you were not on duty that day, correct?
No,
You are not a Canton police officer, correct?
that's correct.
You were not assigned to this investigation in any formal capacity, were you?
I was not.
As a matter of fact, you're a witness in a homicide investigation. That's your only role in this, correct?
That's correct, but they're still my friends,
And
yes.
yet you're still having conversations with Kevin Albert at Canton PD while you're at Canton PD, correct?
Not about this.
And you're having conversations with Chief Berkowitz
Friends
of
talking.
Canton PD while you're at Canton PD, correct?
I had conversations with them, but not about this,
And
no.
you're consistently through the day calling Bryan Albert, aren't you?
I had conversations with Bryan Albert. John was found on his lawn. Yes, of course I had phone conversations with him.
I want to take you back for a second to a couple of other entries, including one at 3:57.
By the way, what was that coughing in the courtroom? Was that stop offering additional information cough? Keep it short, keep it simple, just answer the question being asked. Do not volunteer any additional information. Cough, cough. Remember what we talked about, Bryan. Remember the powwow we had, or multiple powwows at that point. Cough, cough, cough. It's a reminder. It's a trigger. Who knows? You be the judge. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.
And one at 4:07. I'm going to draw your attention to 2885 and 2886. Once you have the pages, I'll give you the times once again.
2885?
2885 and 2886. We'll start with 2886 and then work backward.
Okay.
First entry is at 3:57 and 54 seconds.
.357 and 54 seconds, I see it.
Brian Higgins booking to Sallyport, correct?
It says Bryan Higgins, communication to pedestrian Sallyport, communication to pedestrian Sallyport.
Look at the one just above it. That's 3:58:24. Look at 3:57:54. Or the one,
I-
it probably is going to be just below it because it's reversed.
You said 3:57:54, correct?
Correct.
That's what I just read.
Got it. Look at 6 entries below at 3:57:36.
3:57:36. I see it. Access granted, Bryan Higgins. Booking to Sallyport, Sallyport to booking.
Then there's one more on page 2885. Look for 4:07:47.
.407:47.
Correct.
I have it. Access granted, Bryan Higgins. Booking to Sallyport, booking to Sallyport.
And there's no record in that document of you exiting, correct? That's just booking to Sallyport.
Yes. I don't, yeah, there's no record. I don't know if it
That's all-
records you
that's all
going
I-
up.
you
That's
answered my
fine.
question. There's no record of it, correct?
Not that I can see here, no. I'm sorry.
And you're aware that that's about 90 minutes before Karen Reed's SUV was delivered to that Sallyport, correct?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Are you aware that her car ended up in that Sallyport where you were at 5:36?
I'm aware her car ended up there, yes.
Are you aware that there was other evidence that was also being held in the Sallyport?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you see any other evidence in the Sallyport related to this case?
No.
Did you see a bag, a grocery bag with 6 solo cups there?
Objection.
Did you see anything that seemed out of the ordinary there?
All I would do is use that as a cut through. I did not see anything.
Are you aware that at 5, well, let me ask you this. You and Chief Berkowitz were moving in and through, at least in some parts of the day, in and through Canton PD together, correct?
At some points, we might have been together. We weren't together all day.
Matter of fact, he was also in the Sallyport around the same time you were, correct?
I don't recall that, no.
But the records would reflect that, correct? The records that are in front of you?
Objection.
Sustained.
You were in the Sallyport the last time you're logged into the Sallyport. It's 4:07. Do you remember seeing Chief Berkowitz at Sallyport at 4:14?
No, and if that says that I'm logged, that could be me cutting
Mr.
through.
Higgins, all I'm asking you, I'm not asking you what you did. I'm asking you where you were.
I don't know where I was at that specific time.
Well, you walked into the Sallyport. We know that.
If I walked in, I
Correct?
was cutting through, yes.
Right. Was Chief Berkowitz in the Sallyport at 4:14?
Not that I recall, no.
Was he there at 4:30?
I don't remember ever seeing him in the Sallyport, no.
Was he there at 4:33?
I don't remember ever seeing Chief Berkowitz in the Sallyport.
At 4:50?
Objection.
Sustained. Let's move through this, please.
Finally, was he there at 5:36 and 37 seconds at the
Auntie Bev is getting very uncomfortable because she sees, again, Alan Jackson is on the precipice. This has happened so many times, and this is just one witness. If you've been watching this whole series, if you have not checked out the other series of Trooper Proctor and Jennifer McCabe, and I'll also be creating a Yuri Buchanan that will eventually be in the link in the description below, and Allie McCabe, Trooper Paul, those will all be added. It's like a theme. Anytime Alan Jackson is on the verge, on the precipice, on the cusp of uncovering something, Auntie Bev is like, come, move it along, move it along. I'm not interested. This is not interesting to me. This is not interesting to the jury. Yes, it is. What are you talking about? This is very interesting stuff. Not to the judge. I wonder why.
At the same time Karen Reed's vehicle was delivered?
I don't remember.
Do you remember Chief
Lot of tension.
Berkowitz, or were you with Chief Berkowitz when he made a call to the front desk?
No, I don't remember anything like that, no.
Do you remember Chief Berkowitz calling the front desk at 5:42 and saying, shut the barracks?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you remember any kind of call shutting the barracks, meaning shutting the Sallyport?
Objection.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember anything like that, Your Honor.
I don't remember anything. Anything that Lally had asked me previously, the prosecutor. Oh yeah, this. Mr. Jackson, hey, do you remember this? No. Do you remember that? No. Do you remember this? No. Do you remember doing that? No. Do you remember talking to this person? Absolutely not. Do you remember making that phone call? I never made that phone call. Did you talk to him for 22 seconds? I never made that phone call. Did you make that phone call? No, I must have butt dialed. So your phone answered on its own? I don't think that phone has that functionality. Like, it's just. There is no straight answer from this man on cross-examination. On direct examination, all day, every day. On cross, it's like, I don't remember. I don't recall. That never happened. Nope. Cops, man. And I'm sorry. I know there's a few good ones out there. I know. And you know who you are, and God bless you. You're very few and far in between. You're a rare breed. But for the most part, it's either this or something similar to this. And you believe me, I am a practicing attorney. I have clients who call me every day, multiple times a day, telling me what police did to them. You really think every single one of them is making it up? I mean, sure, some of them might exaggerate of what happened. Everybody exaggerates, especially when they're in a stressful situation and they want a lawyer to rescue them. But you really think every single one? Of course not. I've cross-examined guys like him on the witness stand. I know what they're capable of. I know the kind of level of debauchery and lies that they are able to create and the web of lies that they weave in order to convict. There is no justice in the world. There is no justice. There is only victory. Victory or bust. They want to win. They want to win this case, and they're doing everything in their power to try and convict this poor innocent woman.
Close to 6 p.m., isn't that right?
I don't know what time I left.
Could it have been 5:50, 6 o'clock?
I don't recall what time I left.
You're aware that there's video surveillance feeds in the Sallyport garage, correct?
That's correct, yes. Around the building.
Were you in the Sallyport at 5:36 when the car was delivered?
I don't have any recollection of that, no.
It's one thing to say I don't remember, it's another thing to say, no, I was not there.
I don't remember being there, no.
Is it possible that you could have been there when that car was delivered?
I don't believe I was, no.
You don't believe you were? or
I
you
don't
weren't?
believe I was, no.
You're aware that the video surveillance feed from the Sallyport garage at or around 5:36, the precise time when the car was delivered, it's just missing, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you receive a flurry of phone calls from Bryan Albert and Chief Berkowitz indicating that some taillight pieces or a taillight piece had been recovered at 34 Fairview later that evening?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you receive a call at all, without telling me what the conversation consisted of, around 6:12 p.m. from Bryan Albert?
I don't recall.
I don't know what day you're referring to.
The 29th.
Oh my God.
No, I don't remember any phone calls like that.
There it is.
Do you remember 3 minutes later getting another call from Chief Berkowitz at 6:16 p.m. that lasted about 5 minutes and 15 seconds?
No.
Oh, he remembers. He remembers. That was the look of remembering, if I've ever seen one. That was him going, oh yeah, I remember that. But he's lying. No, I don't remember.
You look at the entries for 6:12, 6:16. See if that refreshes your recollection.
Are you referring to the...
6:12 and 6:16.
Okay, I see those, yes.
There was a call at 6:12 that Bryan Albert made to you for a duration of 1 minute and 7 seconds, correct?
Yes.
Then right after that, there was a call from Chief Berkowitz to you at 6:16 that lasted 5 minutes and 15 seconds, correct?
Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
They telling you that
Look at how tense he is. I know we've talked about this before, but like, look at how furrowed his eyebrows are. Like he is in a constant, almost like a constipated state of being. Like his eyebrows are furrowed. He's constantly squinting, and everything about his face shows an immense amount of stress. A witness who is testifying truthfully should not experience this level of stress, folks. A witness who is telling exactly what happened and how it happened is not going to have their body going into like a defensive mode, make sure that they answer everything correctly, lest they be damned. And that's not normal. That is not normal. I don't know if I've ever seen that kind of level of stress in witnesses other than this trial, honestly. That's crazy. All right, I think this is a good place as any to take a break, and I will see you all in part 10 of Bryan Higgins' testimony. Bye, everybody.